thing I said I wasn't coming up, but I am remiss in not bringing Deborah Asinger into the mix as well. She is going to be talking about a New Local Space and their past year. And I want to thank Rosie for doing an awesome job at looking at me so I could give her 5 and a 2-minute warning. So can everyone look at me during there? And we'll keep going smoothly. Thank you.
And now a video from Raquel.
I have been working with walls. I guess they are a great symbol of our idea of progress and civilization. So I had this idea of creating this massive wall with 2,000 hand-embroidered breasts. I just love the idea of taking something so harsh as concrete and covering it with something very soft and gentle as flesh or breasts, or something that makes the experience of architecture and modernity to a very basic, more human level. I think it was somehow questioning all the things that have been at stake and all the things that have been lost in the process of building civilization and reconstructing that in a more humane way. I think it's a reminder of how we all, men and women, and everybody needs to reconnect to our feminine energy somehow. Because I think that some way down the line that we have lost a little bit of that. I have continued working with walls for a while, and a couple of years ago I was able to be in a residence program in Berlin, and I was very interested in the history of the wall there. So I went out and I checked out all the blogs that they had, and the piece that came from that experience was to take one of those blocks and cover it with fabric and hand embroider the block with fabric. And what was interesting to me and what I wanted to sort of convey also is that I was using German concrete and I was covering it with Turkish fabrics and just sort of combining those two places in the world in a very soft, kind of like a ritual of dressing each block and giving it an individual personality for each one. And of course, the block in the Dominican Republic also has a very important connotation in our idea of progress. So I made another edition of that piece with the Dominican block, and it was very important to me to be able to do this in my own country. Eventually, what I would like to do is to make this piece somewhere in situ and just build a massive wall where some of these blocks are intervened in this fashion, just embroidering. So the idea of using the block and covering with fabrics that are both Haitian and Dominican sort of links the history of these two countries and the workforce that we have been using for centuries with Haitians and the presence of Haiti in construction sites in the Dominican Republic. I will definitely continue making work about walls and building walls because it is very relevant and it continues being relevant after the new administration in the U.S. So more walls to come. And in this particular piece, I made the outfits they're wearing, which are these gender-specific bikinis. But I'm also having this performatic interaction with the subject. Just living in where I live and just being exposed constantly to very young women who are in the sexual market. It really touches me because nobody really is taking care of that. Nobody is really talking about it, and you see it all the time. Their childhood is very short, not only because they have access to just being in the street doing that kind of work, but also because since they're 10 or 12, they're taking care of siblings and cooking and taking on a lot of responsibility for a child. So I wanted to make a piece that sort of portrays, girl women. And that was sort of like a natural way for me to do it. It is a piece that created a lot of passion and controversy because a lot of people felt very strongly about it. And they love the fact that we were discussing this, but other people were very critical, and I think that it was an experience that really helped me mature a lot as an artist. I'm actually super happy that this piece happened, and it opened this subject in my work, and I will continue working with it. Dunas is a project that started as a photo project, really. I just wanted to experiment in this amazing place that is Dunas in the southern part of the island. So just being there gave me this sense of how really small we are. Like looking at a person at a distance, it's just like a tiny hand. And I wanted to work with that, the relationship of the body and the larger scale of nature. So I did an experiment, and I brought a whole bunch of people who volunteered to do it. And I covered the upper part of their bodies with these foam hats. And the idea was to sort of compromise the senses that are mostly activated and sort of compromise that rational aspect of our being and just letting free the bottom part, of more instinctive part of our bodies, and just let them wander around the desert and follow my voice as guide, but also really trusting each other for survival. And documented this, but I really wanted to go back and make a video in this place and kind of really tell a story. 2 years later, I went back. I actually had 18 people who volunteered, which was amazing. So we were there, and the story was told in a very kind of sensorial way. Basically, the idea is that there's this village of people who live there, and they have their routines and the way that they do things. And then this outsider comes from the sea and walks into their lives and how they react. They're taking out of their comfort zone and all the tensions that it creates. And throughout the video, you see a lot of emotions, from fear and hate to a lot of passion and support and empathy. So these are things that I'm very interested in, and that connect to a lot of the things that are happening now, and the massive wave of migrations that not only are happening now, but that will happen more and more, and that we are not prepared to do. All the emotions and things that come with the idea of the other.